Alright, let's grab some food and head in. Alright. Let's do it. Yes. Glad we brought that with us.
Translating local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor egg hatching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
Sure hope that wasn't a ghost I was seeing, because that'd be awfully disappointing. I see some ion cubes there. Ion cube fabricator. This device appears to be the origin of the raw mineral that forms the base of the ion cubes, which power smaller alien systems. Likely drawing power itself from the main thermal plant, this device may represent an almost limitless source of energy. Heck yeah! I'm just gonna spawn on foot for a while.
Integrating new PDA data.
Enzyme 42 project. According to translated data logs, an indigenous Leviathan species was found to produce a unique substance referred to as Enzyme 42, which inhibited the symptoms of the Kara bacterial infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained in a purpose-built habitat for further study. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide for the life form's environmental needs, including an import of interdependent flora and fauna via an on-site warp gate. However, its health quickly deteriorated. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and force fields were sealed. All attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine have been unsuccessful. Sea Emperor fetus. Found preserved in a display case, it was likely the child of an adult specimen contained within the facility. Physiology. Superficial damage to the specimen indicates it was artificially removed from its egg casing. Stunted tissue development suggests the organism expired during the removal process. Tissue samples have been taken from the digestive tract. Analysis. It appears aliens were attempting to formulate a cure for the bacterium from enzymes produced in the specimen's digestive system. Without a young, healthy specimen, these efforts were in vain. Sea Emperor egg casing. Shell composition. The shell casing is formed from thick layers of carbon composite, suggesting an extensive gestation period, as the Leviathan species may give birth just once per century, perhaps just once in their lifetimes. Shell casing incisions. Precise incisions suggest a laser-based tool was used to cut open the egg casing and forcibly remove the fetus inside prior to full gestation. Analysis. Time pressure to develop a bacterial vaccine may have driven the alien researchers to cut open this egg and remove the fetus for study. It is also possible that, removed from its parent and natural habitat, some vital condition for the infant to be born naturally would not occur. And I'm not sure these aliens are very ethical. Alright, I'm going to explore the 3 doorways, then I'll scan the items. A gate. Well, I'll power them up, but I'm not going to go through them right now. I'm assuming all 6 doorways lead to gates, or arches, or whatever they call them. I guess not. Outflow pipe. Enzyme host peepers leaving the containment facility. Outflow pipes are filled with peepers traveling back toward the surface. Specimens show no symptoms of infection. All specimens scanned or carry enzyme 42, which data suggests inhibits the bacterium. Specimens' stomach cavities are otherwise empty, suggesting they may have purged the contents before entering the pipes. Assessment: if peepers have evolved to distribute the enzyme via the pipe network, this may explain part of the mechanism by which life on 4546b has survived since the bacterial outbreak. Peepers were behind it all along. The pipes drawing water into the facility are filled with peepers arriving from the surface. The fish show no signs of distress. The specimens scanned have all consumed high quantities of seeds and organic matter from the surface. Some specimens are beginning to show signs of infection. So they eat a bunch of organic matter, they come in, deposit that organic matter, grab a bunch of enzyme, and go back out. And remember, the peeper specimen actively approached other creatures, so good job, peepers. We salute you. I shouldn't have eaten so many of you. Maybe I should eat more of you.
Data.
Ventilation control. Water flowing to and from the primary containment facility is being automatically controlled independently of other safeguards. Data on the water composition has been recorded. Inflow. Water is being drawn from different biomes around the surface of the planet. The water temperature is considerably lower than the volcanic environment outside the facility. All microorganism and nutrient counts are substantially higher. Outflow. Oxygen-deprived water is being flooded from the system and cycled back to the surface. Yeah, we've seen a few of those facilities. The alien vents. I'd like to get down there, please. Can I? Oh, I can't. I just walked all the way around for no reason. Guess there's not a lot more happening down here except we get to see the peepers doing their thing. Which is neat, I guess. Same deal, another arch. Knickknacks. Circular object. Holographic projector. This device contains network apparatus and a holographic projection unit. It was likely used as a communications relay, capturing and projecting an image of the user to a remote location. There do not appear to be any other devices in range. Alien statue. This artifact is unpowered, suggesting it served a ceremonial rather than a practical purpose. The pyramid resembles vines spiraling upward toward the warm blue stone mounted above it. It may represent a plant found on the alien's homeworld, a building of a religious import, or even the gravitational pull of their home solar system. In other words, we have no effing clue. Strange carving. Alien carving. This carving is hundreds of thousands of years old and made from an unrecognized natural fiber grown on an unknown planet. It bears striking resemblance to the old Earth yin-yang symbol. Two competing theories may explain this similarity. 1. Aliens visited Earth prior to the 4th century BC and influenced the development of the ancient Chinese philosophy. 2. The concept of yin and yang is universal. Since yin and yang describe the fundamental interdependency of seemingly opposite forces, it may be a necessary existential understanding, in some form in all sufficiently developed civilizations. The tapering of two circles, union, into opposed and infinitesimally small points, the finite, is one logical way to represent this understanding and may have been developed independently by species other than humans. So, alien astronauts, or they just wanted to. Rudimentary tablet. This device shares many similarities with the tablets used to access the alien facilities, although its structure is rather less complex. It may have served a similar purpose, granting security access and storing relevant data, and was thus kept here as a form of legacy support. Don't want to throw out everything. Ancient blade. Ancient earth blade. An ancient earth blade dating back to the 13th century. Blood samples on the blade match the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from the period. This evidence supports the theory that aliens are an ancient space-borne civilization engaged in surreptitious study of less developed species. Oh, well, I guess alien astronauts back on the table.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I was gonna grab some every time I go through here. Alright, we'll scan the next other side and then there's some more ways. Alien technology. Translation device. This device stores linguistic data from over 1,000 different languages. The core of the device may allow alien texts to be read and translated. Analysis of the onboard data reveals a number of ancient Earth languages, and the term CHBC Live appears many times in the device's data. Its import is unclear. The device seems to be configured to translate into the designer's language. It will not work the other way around. Lame. Alien object, alien building block. This rock-like object features organic as well as mechanical parts, and there's some genetic and technological crossover with the design of the self-warping constructs encountered elsewhere. It appears to serve no purpose in its current state and is awaiting some kind of activation sequence. Materials such as this may have been fundamental building block of the aliens' technology, or even of the aliens themselves. Tracking implant. This construct is emitting a high bandwidth signal consistent with alien transmissions intercepted elsewhere. DNA on the exterior indicates it was once implanted inside one of the life forms indigenous to 4546b, its size suggesting the subject was a Leviathan-class organism. Beyond tracking and broadcasting its location, the implant may also have recorded biological data on the subject. However, this data cannot be received. Tell me your secrets. Unusual box. Organic matter particulator. This device contains a highly unstable radioactive isotope, likely to destroy all organisms exposed to it while leaving physical structures intact. Although it would function perfectly well as a weapon, it was more likely used to sterilize spaces for later inhabitation. Without instructions, it would be unwise to interact with it. Yeah, I'd prefer not to die. Empty. Nanobots. Scans show some form of advanced nanobot inside the seemingly empty case. These bots are substantially smaller than any developed within the Federation, and it is not possible to ascertain their exact function. It would, however, be unwise to release them. Okay, we won't. No problem. Let me guess. Another arch. Another arch. Since arch gate loading times are so long, I'm not going to explore them as I open them. Not more peepers over here.
This room appears to be a biological archive storing more than 40 indigenous egg specimens in different states of development.
That's weird. See Emperor Leviathan research data.
PDA data.
Specimen size categories have been adjusted upward to accommodate the species. Feeding and digestion. Alien research data indicates that despite its size, the species feeds entirely on microorganisms it filters from the water, which themselves depend on a complicated ecosystem of plant and animal life. Reproduction. Large ovary-like organs are carried in the creature's middle section, suggesting that, like other species on this planet, it produces eggs. However, internal scar tissue indicates probable infertility. Enzyme 42. The Emperor manufactures enzyme 42 within its stomach cavity to break down its food and will occasionally expel it into the surrounding waters. The substance was found to neutralize the effects of the bacterium, and its presence in the ecosystem today would explain how life on the planet survived the outbreak. It would remain to be explained by what mechanism the enzyme is being delivered. Health. Comparative analysis of size and metabolic rates indicate the specimen captured by the researchers was approximately 1,600 years old. Wow. Extensive internal and external scar tissue suggests it had lived well in excess of the peak lifespan for its species. Assessment. While a healthy Emperor specimen may have had some potential as a cure, it is unlikely any research subject survived quarantine procedures. Well, if so, that's very disappointing, because without an intact one, I don't really have any way to live. God, I remember to bring a fabricator. It would have really sucked if I had. Alright, that's all the doors. Alright. Purple, blue, or orange? Blue.
Came here once. They built these walls. They played alone. They bored me. whether you swim with the current or fight against it, as they did.
Whichever one makes me live.
Detecting unusually passive behavioral patterns in nearby predators. Reason unknown.
You mean I don't have to kill these bone sharks? Well, that's nice.
Environment scans indicate the water here is rich with a rare, plankton-like life form which depends on the organic detritus produced by the ecosystem around it.
Incubator. Oh, so there are some eggs still alive. Hatching enzymes. Sea Emperor's eggs. Shell. Uncommonly strong shell lining. Organic growth in the exterior, so these eggs may be hundreds or thousands of years old. Alien tubes. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and to isolate them from the surrounding environment. Amniotic sac. Like many eggs on 4546b, these do not contain a nutrient supply which is slowly exhausted by the embryo. Instead, they exist in a form of natural stasis, awaiting appropriate hatching conditions. Fetal organism. There's a high genetic match between these organisms and the leviathan in the vicinity. They appear to be stable and healthy. It's likely that ideal hatching conditions for eggs vary considerably from ideal survival conditions for the parent.
My young need to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me. If you help us, I will give you freely what the others tried in vain to take. With the passage you have opened, my young can leave this place. But first they must feel the time is right and break free of their shells. This is what the others could not force from me. To you, I give the secret willingly.
What secret? Hatching enzyme.
New blueprint acquired.
Where is it? Did I skip it? There it is. I did skip it. Okay. Let's read the data entry. Hatching enzymes. Emperor specimens' eggs are attached to some form of incubator. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that sea emperors would have buried their eggs in shallower waters where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes which would simulate the egg's natural hatching environment, but were unable to discover the formula. With extensive information on the sea emperors themselves, it may still be possible to fabricate an artificial hatching enzyme using indigenous ingredients. However, the only surviving source of that information may be the sea emperor itself. Which, hey, she just helped us out with that. Ooh, let's... The sea emperor's life cycle. Available biological data has been used to synthesize the effects of the alien bacterium on the sea emperor's life cycle. This creature likely lived and moved in small herds around the planet's ocean trenches, coming to the surface to feed off the huge volumes of microorganisms in the shallower waters. Family size would be strictly limited by available food supply. Offspring would likely split off at a young age to form their own herds elsewhere. Given their sparse population, mating and egg laying was likely infrequent, perhaps once in a lifetime event. The species likely had a preferred environment for egg laying. In fact, successful hatching may depend on such circumstances. Given the rarity of this event, it is impossible to calculate those conditions precisely. There is no evidence to support the assumption that all members of the species were immune from the alien bacterium. Even if this is so, there is evidence that the introduction of the bacterium decimated life on the planet, and this would have had catastrophic effects on the Emperor's food supply and survival rate. The symbiotic relationship between this specimen and other life forms likely developed as a direct result of the bacterial infection. Those life forms which learned to keep the Emperor alive survived with its help. This may explain the vast tracts of lifeless ocean and a rough perimeter around the Emperor's location. Good job, Sea Emperor. Alright. So now, we would basically have a scavenger hunt.
The plant life in this area is growing outside its normal conditions. Other life forms fertilizing and pruning the vegetation may be offsetting this environmental deficit.
I'm sure it is. Looks like one of the things on the list. Sea crown. This plant consists primarily of large bladder-like sac containing a huge variety of bacterial species, which may enable it to break down complex compounds it draws from the root system. It shares large sections of genetic code with the membrane tree. Environmental scans indicate this plant is rare to the point of extinction. That is one of the samples I need. Looks like I need bulb bush, eye stalk, fungal, and ghostweed. Hey, I need 4 samples, and there were 4 arches. Know what I'm thinking? Of the portals and see if that works. I know I have a bulb bush back at base. question is, where am I? Really far away from home. That kind of gray is at the jelly shroom. Not jelly shroom, mushroom forest. And I do need a mushroom sample. So that's nice. Analysis of these large organ structures reveals microcosm of cooperating, cohabitating, and competing life forms. The main trunk is a species of coral, some colonies up to 50,000 years old. The caps which line it share more in common with earth fungi. Other organisms grow on the structure wherever there's space and light. The surrounding waters are dense with herbivorous life forms in the 1 millimeter to 10 millimeter range, to the extent that large herbivores appear to have mostly abandoned the area. Cool. I got the sample I needed. Wish I had materials for beacons, but that's okay. Alright, 1 down, 3 to go. I'll have to hop back out to the Cyclops to actually synthesize this stuff. Whoa. I'm close enough to see sandstone chunks, which means I'm really close to base. Which is exciting, frankly. Makes sense, since I need bulb bush samples. How far am I from base? 300 meters. Whoa! What are you doing? Learn not to swim in the air. Hi. Whatever. Go back to Forever Home real quick and grab materials. Such as copper. Either that or I'll just make some beacons right now. That'd probably actually be a smart idea. Don't have that much storage space, but I do have some. Yeah, let's eat real Good enough. Alright. Time for 3. I actually literally out of titanium. I am literally out of titanium. Wow, okay. Well, let's grab the copper then. Bring that with us instead. I have titanium in the sub. Alright. Back to Wesley. I'm not gonna look at the men's bar, not even for a second.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Suppose I should have numbered it. That's all. Not important. Not that important anyway. Right. Up and out. Just to go through the other 2 gates. Yeah, but I want to throw these samples in the Cyclops. Wait, I don't need to throw them in the Cyclops, I just throw them in this. And time to grab some more. Alright, to the right. Cave crawlers. Oh, nice. Everything is north of here. So I'm in the crag. Actually, probably relatively near what's its face. Pot 7. Alright, there's the eye stalk. I'm not gonna bother with it. Beacon here. Don't plan to get there any other way. Okay. On the way. And then one more arch, and that should be all the materials I need. Yep. Alright, we just stick to the same side. Through the warp portal we go. I mean, ouch. Now we usually run ghost speed relatively low. And I see that we're going to 600 meters, so that sounds about right. Oh, looks like the Green River. Yeah, works for me, I guess. I'm gonna grab more crystallized sulfur if I see it, because I'm just not sure if I need it, and if I need it, how much of it I need. There was something coming over this way. Not bad. I kind of. Sounds like you got me. I see the ghost tree right there. I was trying to get away from that crazy man. Nickel, silver. Coastweed grows exclusively in deep waters where its pale pigmentation is visible on the fewest wavelengths. Sounds about right. Hug the left wall because I'm not sure exactly. This is a good one to probably throw a beacon at in case I ever want to come back, which not bloody likely. Okay, that's all the different types. I just go back to Cyclops and whip us up a batch of enzymes. Then at that point, I guess the plan would just be to grab the Cyclops, pull all the way up and out of the Lost River, which will be a bit of a trip, unfortunately. Wow, I parked that thing really low, didn't I? Actually, well, it's not that close.
Captain, all systems online.
Wait till it's fully healed. Not too concerned about its charging state. Do I have kyanite? A lot of silver. A lot of kyanite. Okay, that's probably plenty. Alright, I have the enzymes on me. Let's actually eat real quick. so cute. Let's watch the touching reunion with Mama.
My young are swimming for the shallows. I thank you. Their freedom is my end. What will it be like, I wonder, to go to sleep and never wake up? Perhaps next we meet, I will be an ocean current, carrying seas to a new land. Or a
Perhaps
creature
so.
so small, it sees the gaps between the grains of sand. Farewell, friend.
See Emperor Juvenile. A juvenile Emperor specimen is producing a highly potent form of enzyme 42, which should be capable of fully curing individuals of the alien bacterium. This species hatches relatively fully formed and independent, perhaps reflecting the fact they must fend for themselves when they are first born away from their parents. The specimen is healthy and exhibiting signs of a positive attitude for life. Well, that's good, I guess. Let's see where this goes. Ooh, shiny. Kinda sticky though. Is that it? Am I cured?
Self-scan complete. Vital signs
Nice.
normal. No remaining sign of bacterial infection.
Oh, and there's a quarantine enforcement platform. How utterly convenient. I think I'll make it faster on my own. Alright. Once I turn this off, only thing left to do will be to launch our way out of here. I'm gonna want probably lots of titanium. So, I could probably abandon my Cyclops, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get my Cyclops back to base. Then I'm gonna save and quit, create a copy of this file, because I don't want to lose all the customization, because for some reason when you beat the game, it just deletes your file. If you're playing hardcore, which is just stupid. Alright, cool. You knew I was gonna. Whoa. You dodged that time. Well, that looks awfully turned off. Alright, now we head back through the gate, get back to the Cyclops, and see if we can get it home. Stopping to mine pretty much all the minerals on the way. Specifically gold, titanium, and lithium. Those would be the most important ones, I think. I think we probably have plenty of kyanite.